deep inside the piney woods of northeast Texas. You are listening to Talk of the Night. And now, your host, Paranormal Phil. Good evening, good morning, wherever you may be around the world. I am Paranormal Phil. This is Talk of the Night. Tonight we were supposed to have my guest, Victor Font Jr., as we talked about alien deception and disclosure. But at the last moment, he had to cancel for um, different reasons. If you go up to the little icon, right, and go to you chat, click on that, go to channel, view channel, and stuff. Okay, sorry, I'm just trying to help my producer. This is the last moment thing. Uh, but anyways, I am also live on my personal Facebook page, just so that way if people want to check out the show and maybe help uh, boost my show here a little bit, I am live on there too. But you're not going to see it on the YouTube channel because it's on my phone. But anyways, since my guest had to cancel last moment because of reasons, I'm not going to give those reasons. I had to come up with something at the last moment, and I figured I would do something that I've done in the past is a mystery door episode where anybody can call in, share your stories, experiences, questions that you might have about the paranormal, conspiracies, technology, health. I'm not too keen on the alternative health and technology. I'm not too big on that, but I know a little bit. But if you got questions about the paranormal or conspiracies, I'm pretty good at that. So we're gonna do a mystery door where, again, like I said, anybody can call in, share your stories, experiences, or questions. If you're watching on Facebook, if you want to check out the show on YouTube, it is live over on um, youtube.com/talking the night. And I am just trying to bring up a separate screen for YouTube so that way I have the live up there. That way I can see the chat. All right. And so we're going to just go off of some questions to start off with on paranormalforum.net. And let me find a good question. Let's see. Cryptid and creatures. Let's see. Let's go to that and let's see. Wisconsin Glimmerman report. And hopefully that is. I'm kind of hearing something. I don't know if that's talking outside or what. I don't know. Anyways, it's not too bad. It's just something I heard. Wisconsin married couple watch cloak Glimmerman hide in pine tree. Uh, Now I've never heard of Glimmerman. I don't know if it's like a Hatman, paranormal entity, what it might be. Um, so yeah, let's not go there. Um, Bigfoot encounter in Missouri. Next one. And again, I'm hearing like slight feedback, but not too bad. But it's not to a point where it's bad, but Dan's carrying the sound. Okay. So I'm trying to see questions here, and I'm not seeing any questions. Um, Again, if you want to call into the show, let me type in this in the chat here too. Uh, Welcome to the show. Yeah, see, it was my phone. Sorry. Yeah, I'm still hearing it. That's weird. Like I said, it's not too bad. I'm hearing me talking, but like I said, it might have been because I had this and I'm hearing the replay. Um, Again, uh, it's okay. Let's go to the paranormal ones, and hopefully, my producer can find the right one. All right, very strange paranormal encounter caught on camera. You
Amor,
know, watching this.
amor, amor,
And you're seeing the video, hopefully. Are you on web browser showing the video? Okay. Now, looking at this video, it's hard to tell, but it almost sounded like a Middle Eastern accent, Middle Eastern dialect. Okay, it's got a couple of different ones, but I forgot the name of that. But this is Ghost Girl. Now, that looked realistic. And there's only the three guys in there. Oh, wow. Okay. Now, could that be, go ahead and pause it. Could that have been real? I mean, very possibly. Japan, that does have a lot of.
Play that on your phone.
No, my phone's silent. And, hold on. No, hold on. I think I know what it is. Hold on. I think I figured it out. That's what it is. Okay. I had the sound on YouTube on my computer. That's what it was. Okay, I figured that out. My bad. Again, it's last minute shows trying to figure things out. But anyways, looking at that Ghost Girl, Japan does have a lot of paranormal activity. And possibly that could have been in maybe a hotel that has high activity. I don't know for certain, but that did look realistic. Now, there are things, of course, AI is, you can see Bigfoot videos of AI, and you can tell that it's AI. And then there's some AI that looks super realistic. Now, things like that can be done with trick camera, which I've learned when I was going to school for filmmaking. There are different angles that you can use to make that effect, but that one looked realistic. So let's continue on with the video. And see somebody walking down the road, and then a shadow comes out. Now that's a little more harder to.
It did not have any more of those
It didn't show that video. Oh, okay. Let me go back.
I don't know what happened there, but let me.
Okay. Again, we're doing a mystery door episode. If you want to call into the show and uh, everything like that, and you want to share your stories, experiences, or questions, this is a last minute mystery door episode where just because the guest canceled, I had to come up with something at the last moment. We're only going to go for another 20 minutes. Now, I could also talk about my paranormal experiences and tell you a little bit about some of the hauntings I've been part of. That might actually be better because that way I don't have to look at any websites or anything like that. But so I got started in the paranormal field in 1992. I wasn't looking to get into the field, it just happened. Now, I did have my first paranormal experience when I was 5 years old. I had a little ghost boy playing with a ball on top of the refrigerator. That was my first experience. And then, of course, growing up, going on RV trips across the country with my parents. And I forgot to put my glasses on so I could see better. But anyways, um, when we were traveling across country, most kids wanted toys. I mean, my sister wanted toys. When we were traveling across country, we would get all kinds of magnets. Well, that was more for my parents. But for me, I didn't want the toys. I mean, yes, I wanted a couple of coonskin caps when I got to places like that. But we would travel across country. I actually wanted a book on Bigfoot, and that was in my teens. So I was more interested even in the paranormal back then. But again, I didn't get started in the paranormal field till 1992. And how that started is I was working in Northern California in a small, and I mean small little town of Fortuna. It's growing since then. I've seen Google aerial views of Fortuna. It's growing quite a bit, and things are not there where they used to be. But there used to be, I worked there with the California Conservation Corps, and there used to be an old farmhouse there. And you might be asking, what's so mysterious about that? Well, nobody lived there, it was abandoned. And one day that I was walking from the California Conservation Corps building and everything like that to town, because I didn't have a vehicle, I would walk past that even in broad daylight. And one day I walked past, I saw these farm animals, cows, sheep, ducks in the yard. And I'm thinking, okay, maybe the farmhouse is there, but maybe that property has another house built somewhere that I can't see. And you could see the field, so there it could have been huge property. I didn't know. But when I passed the house, and something told me turn around, look, and and the animals look real, just as real as you and me. And I turn around, and they're not there. Sorry, my producer's got the sneezes. But anyways, they were not there. They just were gone, and there was no place for them to go. I mean, you had the house, but there was no way some of those animals were getting around the house that quick. And it wasn't too far past the house that I was when I turned around. So there was no, I knew there was no way they were getting around the house. So a couple of my friends that I worked with, we decided we're gonna go in there and check out the house for ourselves because they had worked there longer than I had, and they heard reports of that place being haunted. Well, mistakenly, one of them brought in a Ouija board. And let's just say it did not turn out that great. Um, and that was my first experience into the paranormal field of understanding. And of course, as somebody like me who is hyper psychic or hyper empath, I should say, or that's what I like to say, is I'm hyper empath. I can see, I can communicate with the spirits, all that good stuff. And it just it overwhelmed me, and I wasn't ready for it. Now, over the years, I went into the military. I came back to Southern California. I worked firefighting. I did a little acting in the as an extra in Hollywood, and then I joined the military. And I've seen some strange stuff while I was overseas, but nothing too memorable. But I wasn't looking for it. And then I came back. I tried different things, but there was always that inclination into the paranormal. And I was still checking out haunted locations. I was checking out haunted locations near where I was born and raised. And I would check out haunted locations wherever I was, whether I was living in Tennessee, whether I was living in Virginia, Norfolk, Virginia. I would check out the haunted sites and check them out. Now, I really got my own team. I believe, I want to say it was in the early 2000s. I started my own team, PRT Riverside, Paranormal Research Team of Riverside, California. And it was more of the cemetery, the Mount Rubidoux with the elf sightings on top of, or people claiming elf sightings on top of Mount Rubidoux. I investigated that. I investigated the old historic cemetery there. I've checked out the historic Mission Inn, and I've had sightings. The elves thing, I could not find no evidence of. That was more of a folklore thing, probably, than anything. But as things grew, I nobody in the team wanted to do any investigations anymore. So, with another person that got me started in talk radio or doing the podcast, well, he got me started in it, but the inspiration came from the late great Art Bell from Coast to Coast AM. But he had his own team that, and I would help them on some investigations, doing cleansing the homes. And I'll tell you about one case that I worked on because I'm one of those type of people that can cleanse a home of dark energy, dark spirits. And this home we went into in Southern California, I can't remember. I think it was Montebello, um, Claremont, probably somewhere around there. And the house was up for sale. The people were trying to sell it. But again, with the Ouija board bringing that up, so one of their family members used the Ouija board in the house. Well, they knew that I had this ability to see the spirits and do this kind of stuff. After talking to the guy that headed up that team, he brought me in, and I told the team, for your safety, stay outside this room. And of course, the house, again, like I said, was up for sale. So there was no electricity in the house. It was middle August. So it was like 105 outside. Inside the house with no AC, felt like 120. So that's going to play important later on in the story. So I go into this room where the supposed Ouija board use was in play. And I told the team, stay outside for your protection, but stay out there for my protection, just in case you have to come in and pull me out. I knew that wasn't going to happen, but it made them feel good. So I went into the room and they were standing outside the door. I'm doing my thing, and as I'm doing my thing, they saw this dark mist run from room to room as I'm chasing it out of the house. And I went from room to room. I followed the thing and I chased it out of the house. After we got finished chasing, after I got finished, I should say, after I got finished chasing the thing out, we brought the family in, and they had a grandfather that passed away. And there was probably, with the family members, probably about 15 to 20 people. And we're talking a small room that we were in with no AC, the windows were closed, the door was closed. Again, it felt like 120, so this is going to play a part in the story. And we're communicating with the spirit, and we got answers back. And they wanted me to help their grandfather go on into the light. Again, I don't know what happens when we get to that side. The spirit's not answering me on that question. But I guess that's for each of us to figure out. But when I opened that portal for him to move on into the other realm, as I call it, mind you, 120 degrees in a small, maybe, I want to say about 10 by 12 room. I mean, it was a small room. And it was probably 120 in there. As soon as I opened that gateway for him to cross over, everybody, even across the room from me, felt like a cold blast of air, like an air conditioner had turned on. Again, no power in the house, no AC, just 20 of us, 15, 20 of us in this room. And they felt that cold blast across the room. And they're like, what the hell just happened? And I explained, I opened up the doorway for him to cross over. And they were at peace. That's one case. Another case, and we're only gonna do till 9 o'clock. But we're gonna make the show short because this was kind of a last minute thing. But I went to the Queen Mary one time, and I went on the tour with my then fiance, which we won't talk about. um, and it was just me, her, and the tour guide, and we went into the pool area on the Queen Mary, the first class pool where the little girl is said to be. And they had the ghost tour type thing, and then they have like the more Halloween type ghost tour thing where they bring out all the smoke and make it Hollywood, basically. And while that group was coming through, we kind of had to hide in the shower locker room area until they passed. And that's when I had an encounter with the little girl. And she told me she did not like that tour. She did not like the Hollywood smoke, fog machine effects, everything like that. And I understood. If I was a spirit, it pissed me off because it'd be like making fun of me. That's how I would see it. And that's how I believe she saw it. And then, of course, when his group, my friend's group that I worked with on a few cases, kind of disbanded because nobody wanted to work in the paranormal field again. Me, him, and another lady who was our psychic all formed our own team, SRC Paranormal. And he took me to David Ullman's house. If you've never heard of David Ullman, check him out on YouTube. He's a good friend of mine. But the first time I went there, I told my friend I did not want to know anything of the location other than the murders happened down the road from his house, because I did not want it corrupted by the everyday world. My inclination, my sight that I would see from my abilities, I didn't want that corrupted. And we're driving from Riverside, California to Beverly Hills. And I see, I'm looking at the map on my phone and I'm trying to be like, okay, where is this house? I zoom in on the location on Google Earth. And all of a sudden, I believe we were in Pomona at the time, driving 70, 80 miles per hour down the freeway. And I got this feeling there's a portal right there. I'm looking at the map and I'm trying to show my friend. I'm like, there's a portal right there. It's like, right now I'm trying to drive. Show me when we get there. So we get there. I show him exactly where I was pointing at the map on the map in the physical location. I said, right here is where that portal is, and you could feel it when you stood there. It felt like you were walking underwater. And I said, right here is where that portal is. And I explained that, and he kind of looked shocked. We went up to the door, was greeted by David Ullman. We came out, and my friend goes, tell David what you just told me. And I went to the spot that we were at, and I pointed to the spot and said, when we were driving here, I was looking on the map, and I felt this portal right here just by looking at the map, a good 40 miles away, mind you. And he had the shocked look on his face. And he was like, how did you know? Because apparently, the spot that I pointed out, the exact same spot, is when his house was being built, a 5-gallon bucket of water tipped uphill, which is impossible. So, I mean, I've had that ability since I was very little. I just didn't realize it until later in life. Now, after 30 years, well, it's been over 30 years now, but I spent only 30 years in the paranormal field before retiring. And I retired just because I didn't have the money to go to a lot of locations. Plus, I've learned just about everything I could about it. So I decided, why not retire And now I just do the podcast and talk about the paranormal and the strange and the unusual. So let's see what we got. We're only 1 minute to 9. We're gonna go a little bit past 9 because I gotta read this first before we get out of here. And again, this was a mystery door episode. It was a last minute thing. I had to think of something on the fly just because our gas canceled. And are you ready? She's not focused. All right, so I gotta do my promo here before we get out of here, and I'll let you know what we got coming up on Friday night. So if you're enjoying Talking Tonight, why not take a piece of the show with you? Visit talkingtonight.com, click on more, and then click on the Talking Tonight merch store for t-shirts, coffee mugs, ball caps. I'll add more later to it. Your support helps keep the conversation going, keeping the show going. And if you want to put your business in front of passionate late night audience, because it will grow, the show will grow, then Talking Tonight is now welcoming advertisers and sponsors to the show. Reach listeners, viewers in the topics discussed on the show. Visit talkingtonight.com to learn more or contact us today at talkingtonight@outlook.com. Grow your business with Talking Tonight. So Friday night we are going to be talking about Where Have They Gone? Monsters and Mysteries. We're going to talk about Bigfoot. We're going to talk about different cryptids. We're going to talk about even things like the Bermuda Triangle, stuff that you barely hear about anymore these days. It used to be a big thing. Now it's just some of these things, like the Bermuda Triangle, have gone quiet. So until Friday night at 8 p.m. Central Time, right here on the Talking the Night YouTube channel, you can find all the links on talkingtonight.com for what's coming up, what shows are coming up, and all that good stuff over at talkingtonight.com. So until Friday night, I shall see you on the dark side. Good night from Talking the Night.